Hello, everyone, and welcome to an infomercial regarding our brand new product on OASIS E1, which begins January 1st, 2025. We made a point of doing this education in a certain way, and Cindy's here to kind of explain how all of these educational pieces fit together. Cindy, go ahead.
Well, we know that anytime there's a change in OASIS, it brings about drama, not just for the clinician, but also for operations to say, great, another January 1st start date. I got to figure out education time. And then there's holidays, and there's so many holidays. And then all of a sudden referrals spike because everybody remembers you exist because they want to get out of the nursing home and the hospital, and staffing issues were bad already. The idea of carving out hours to prepare just feels daunting. And then even if you try to do that, you're bringing in clinicians that in many cases have been using OASIS for a while. And it's like, well, but what, I don't want to go over stuff they already know. We don't really have time for that. And I see a lot of the E1 options are literally hours of training. And so Sherry and I talked about it, and I'm like, nope, we need something that just gets to the point. That says, this is not a comprehensive OASIS training. Yeah, obviously, there's a time and a place for all of that. But we wanted to make something that an agency could use on demand, directly with clinicians, get everybody up to speed in as efficient way as possible. So the session is 30 minutes long. That's it. It focuses on what's new and changed and touches on VBP with respect to the removal of the goals column. But we really wanted to speak directly to the clinician to help them understand and to not add to the why I hate OASIS reason 753. This is going to be so difficult because I think a lot of the things that change with it are not bad ones. They're just things we need to be paying attention to. So it is a session that we pre-recorded, so there's no date and time you're tied to, and it's priced for the entire agency. So we wanted to price it very, effectively and in a way that made sense for you in terms of how many people watch it in your agency. Doesn't matter. All we ask is you don't share it with other agencies, but as long as it stays within your agency, as many people can watch it as many times as they want to watch it. We just want to get this information down to the right people. I want to also talk, Sherry, for a second, though, about a couple other things because it fits with the same philosophy. I think some of this, what are we doing with the GGs? And K&K has done a session that is also available via recording specifically about the GGs. But we're also in a situation where I have seasoned clinicians, and who do I bring in for training? Do I bring in everybody? Does everybody need this kind of training? Or how do I know who needs it more? And unfortunately, the most common way we figure that out is through the corrections process. And I have a hard time with that, despite the fact that we do outsource coding and OASIS reviews for people. I don't think that should be the primary way we track and trend errors, because that's in real documents. We're trying to get them out the door. Time is of the essence. So we make corrections, and we sometimes end up trapped then in the cycle of clinicians relying on that correction, and they agree all the time, but they keep making the same mistake. So what we developed specifically for VBP is a 20-question test that can be administered to your staff, and you can get a report when it's completed that says, okay, everybody's fine, they know all this, or wait a minute, there's a couple of these that they don't quite know, and we need to address those operationally as an organization, or I've got 2 clinicians that are really struggling, let's bring them in for comprehensive GG discussion and leave the rest alone. The third piece, though, is what do I do beyond VBP and beyond GG items? And again, we see a lot of this hours and hours committed to training. And very often, especially if that's going to be live or recorded in 2 days, that's still a huge time and dime commitment from your organization to send 1 or 2 people to this, or 2 people to watch the video, and then try to train the trainer. As Sherry often refers to it, the leaky bucket of, are we losing pieces? So our operationalizing OASIS series, some of you may have heard of it, but this final installment has now created a library that touches every single OASIS item in the tool, but not in a sit and listen for hours. It's in short pieces and clearly labeled. So if you want to talk, dive deeper into this part, you can pull that part off and play it at a staff meeting. They run on average 15 to 20 minutes, really focus not just on the item, but what does it mean for care planning? What do I need to see in my documentation? So Sherry, I appreciate you letting me do my little infomercial rant. It's just, I see so much unnecessary frustration around an OASIS change combined with oh my gosh, hours and hours of training. K&K is committed to continue to providing resources focused on the clinician, reducing OASIS errors, and getting us out of it's just something I fill out when you make me into how am I integrating it into my care practices. So ultimately, my outcomes and all that VBP stuff organically takes care of itself.
And we've put a lot of thought into how we package these items. And thank you for mentioning the price per agency, because we want to get this as far and wide as we can to as many clinicians as we can, because we fundamentally believe that the front line determines your bottom line. If it's done correctly the first time, it doesn't have to go through the rigorous Q&A process. It doesn't have to, you don't have to keep correcting a repeated mistake. And some of the assessments, the OASIS assessments that Cindy mentioned, they're all listed at knkhelp.com. If you go to the shop button, you can find all of them. But please get in touch with us if you have any questions about any of our products and how accessible they are to your folks. Let us know. Let us know how we can help get this stuff out to your folks so that everybody can get on this, be singing as a choir would from the same sheet of music. That is our ultimate goal. That is what we set our company up to do in 2013. And Cindy, this is another great item that folks can add to their library. Do you have anything else before we go?
No, again, if you have any questions, please reach out. We're happy to help.
Thanks, everyone.